Speaking to CNN on Tuesday, Bob Woodward explained that former President Donald Trump is a telephone addict, and any idea that he didn't speak to anyone for 7 hours is unlikely. Paperwork revealed by Woodward and Robert Costa in the Washington Post showed more than 7 hours and 30 minutes in which Trump's phone calls were not logged. It's prompting questions about whether Trump or his allies were using burner phones or other cell phones to keep any communication off the record. Take a look at the CNN discussion.
As you know, one of the frustrating things about being a great reporter, as you are and your colleague Bob Costa are, is you uncover this great information and it raises even more questions. You have this 7-hour-plus gap. The question is, do these records exist? Were they not taken that day? Are they hidden somewhere? Were they destroyed?
But what's so important, what the January 6th committee is doing is a very aggressive effort to talk to everyone, get every piece of paper, chase it down like a reporter who has time. And I got to know Trump very well during the 2020 campaign when I was talking to him and we did 17 interviews. He would call any time. And he is a telephone addict. And the idea that nothing happened in the afternoon on the phone, January 6th, is as unlikely as the sun not rising,
right.
quite frankly.
We know from our own reporting that at times the president would ask people to give him a phone. So there were phones around. He would either use someone else's phone or he would ask for a cell phone. That's the part the committee is trying to put together because this gap, 7 hours plus, is the critical moments just before, during the incursion, while the vice president, Speaker Pelosi, all the lawmakers' lives were at risk, just after. That's the part we don't know.
Yes, but they'll figure it out or they'll get parts of it. And it is, I remember talking to Trump one afternoon. I called him, I had some questions. This is in 2020 before the election. And he said, "Oh, I can't talk. I have 20 generals waiting downstairs." And then he talked for 25 minutes. You almost couldn't get him off the phone, and it would appear any time. So to have 7 hours and 37 minutes void, where in the morning he's talking to 10 people, in the evening he's talking to 12 people, and then there are calls that we don't know about that didn't go through. So there is work to be done, but it's the context of making this assessment of how he did his job, what he was up to on this day, in many ways the most important day of his presidency, an assault on the Capitol, unprecedented. And I have a lot, I think you and I talked about this, very skeptical about what the January 6th committee was able to do, and they are delivering in a way I did not expect.
A California judge in a civil suit found that Donald Trump likely attempted to obstruct the joint session of Congress on January 6 during the electoral vote count. The judge also ordered John Eastman, ally to former President Donald Trump, to release emails he had with the former president and others in his administration to the January 6 Select Committee for their investigation into the Capitol riot. Judge David Carter wrote that Eastman and Trump launched a campaign to overturn a Democratic election, an action unprecedented in American history. The Select Committee sought documents from Eastman that it believed would help show that Trump and his allies engaged in a criminal conspiracy to defraud the United States, according to previous court filings for this case. Eastman, who helped Trump during the final weeks of his presidency to develop a strategy to pressure former Vice President Mike Pence into overturning the results of the 2020 election, refused to turn over documents to the Select Committee, claiming that they were protected by attorney-client privilege. Judge Carter determined that 10 documents were privileged, but the rest must be turned over to investigators. Carter wrote, "Based on the evidence, the court finds it more likely than not that President Trump corruptly attempted to obstruct the joint session of Congress on January 6, 2021. And the plan spurred violent attacks on the seat of our nation's government, led to the deaths of several law enforcement officers, and deepened public distrust in our political process. More than a year after the attack on our Capitol, the public is still searching for accountability. This case cannot provide it. The court is tasked only with deciding a dispute over a handful of emails. This is not a criminal prosecution. This is not even a civil liability suit. At most, this case is a warning about the dangers of legal theories gone wrong, the powerful abusing public platforms, and desperation to win at all costs. January 6 Committee Chairman Benny Thompson and Vice Chair Liz Cheney said in a statement that the ruling clears the way for the Select Committee to obtain materials important to our investigation, they said. Thank you for watching. Please be sure to visit us at rawstory.com. And if you'd like to see more of the Raw Report, please like and subscribe and join others who like their news raw too.